Yo, this is such an awesome read. So, this is a Bible almanac, right? And you can read what it says. God chose Abraham's family to bring salvation to the rest of mankind. Abraham lived in the city of Ur, capital of ancient kingdom of Sumer, sometime around 2000 BC. Peace be upon you, Lord. God called Abraham to leave his father's home and go to a new land. The Bible traces Abraham's steps from Ur to Haran, north of Palestine, through the land of Palestine, into Egypt, and back into, oh my God, what does that say? I think that says Palestine. 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 Sorry, I didn't think y'all heard me in the back. So reading further. So God began a long, slow job of teaching Jacob how to trust him. He gave Jacob a good wife and great possessions. His uncle tricked him into marrying Leah, a girl he did not want, so Jacob pressed on to marry her sister Rachel as well. Jacob, who later became Israel, I'm going to add that part in. Jacob grew rich, but his greed led to family trouble, and he had to leave Laban's land. He returned to his father's home in Palestine. Palestine, okay? So in other words, the land is Palestine. Jacob, Israel, was a man. The land has always been Palestine, y'all. Like, what? This is outside of the Bible. I'm just saying. Reading on. Hold on, let me go back so it'll be in context. Hold on for a second, y'all. All right. But Jacob's troubles were not over. Years later, 10 of Jacob's sons got jealous of their youngest brother, Joseph, because Jacob obviously preferred him. Joseph had dreamed they would bow down to him someday, along with their parents. The 10 brothers resented this. They trapped Joseph, sold him into slavery, and told their father that he was dead, which was cap. That was extra cap. Slave traders carried Joseph to Egypt, where he became one of Pharaoh's servants. The Most High God used Joseph to interpret the Pharaoh's dreams, and the young man rose to become second in command under Pharaoh. Then a famine in Palestine. Hold on. There it goes. Palestine, okay? Palestine. Then a famine in Palestine drove Joseph's family into Egypt in search of food. His older brothers came first. When they bowed before Joseph, he immediately recognized them, but he did not tell them who he was. Eventually, Joseph forced them to bring his younger brother Benjamin to Egypt. So he basically said, bring BB up to Egypt. This is his ass. What up, BB? Brother Benjamin to Egypt too. Then he revealed his identity and forgave them for selling him into slavery. You know what? That's you know what? He's like Christ. He forgave them. He forgave them for the things that they did to him. That's a Christ-like character. Okay? Joseph invited them to bring his entire family. The Pharaoh received them warmly and allowed them to settle in a rich part of Egypt, which is also Kemet. K-E-M-E-T, Kemet. Palestine, y'all. All right. This is an awesome book. Peace be upon y'all, man. All right, moving further. Let's see. Now, the Bible moves its spotlight into Moses, who holds a vital place in the history of redemption. Jacob's descendants had so many children that the pharaohs feared they would take charge of the country. So a new pharaoh put them into slavery and ordered all of the Israelites. This is the first time the Israelites is even mentioned in here, which is not a land, and it's not the Israelis. You have to know the difference between an Israelite and an Israeli. Israelites are the descendants of Jacob that went into Let me see. Let me go back. Oh yeah, they were the descendants. So Jacob's descendants had so many children that the pharaohs feared that they would take charge of the country. So a new pharaoh put them into slavery and ordered all the Israelites. The Israelites are the descendants of Jacob, basically. Boy babies to be killed. Moses' mother put him in a little basket and set him afloat in the river near the place where the pharaoh's daughter bathed when the princess found the baby. She took him into the palace to raise her as her adopted son. Moses' mother became his nursemaid, and he probably took care of him and well beyond the time he was weaning. Peace up, Oos. What up, Oos? So anyways, yes, so this right here is where Israelites come from and the descendants of Jacob. All right, moving further. As a young man, Moses began to feel burdened for his people. He wanted to bring them out of slavery. When Moses was about 40 years old, man, that's crazy, he saw an Egyptian beating an Israelite, which is a descendant of Jacob. He flew into a rage and killed the Egyptian. Afraid the Pharaoh would execute him, Moses fled into the Median desert. There he married into the family of Jethro. Jethro sounds like a country nigga, I'm not gonna lie. A pagan priest. Moses agreed to tend Jethro's flock. After about 40 years, God spoke to Moses from a bush that burned. See, Moses was 420 friendly, y'all. After about 40 years, God spoke to Moses from a bush that burned and was not consumed. He ordered Moses to go back into Egypt and lead the Israelites into Palestine. Oh my goodness, look at there. The land he promised to Abraham. Peace be upon him. Moses, also peace be upon him, didn't believe he could do this, but he made excuses for not going. But God answered every one of them and gave him power to work miracles that would induce the Israelites to follow him. God revealed his holy name, Yahweh, sometimes translated Yehovah, to Moses. Moses tried to beg off by saying, I am slow of speech, perhaps because he had a speech impediment. In other words, they said he might have had a stutter. So God sent Moses' brother Aaron along with him to translate what Moses had to say. Interesting. So now Israel has entered into the chat. Moses and Abraham persuaded the people of Israel. Who is Israel, guys? Israel is Jacob. Jacob is Israel. The Israelites are the descendants of Jacob. Israel is not a land. Palestine is the country. Palestine has always been here since biblical times, folks. I mean, come on now.